Philippe Coutinho. This guy is literally the worst value for money transfer in history. Not even close. Back in the day, Liverpool's number 10 is making Premier League defenders cry weekly. He's scoring screamers, Barca fans are drooling, he's the next Iniesta, and everyone hopes he becomes Messi's partner in crime. But what did we get instead? Yep, a man who dribbled like his shoelaces were tied together. A guy who took long shots so consistently pointless, they became a tactical liability. Coutinho in a Barca shirt looked like someone pressed random buttons on FIFA and hoped for the best. Number seriously, we paid 160 million euros, one of the most expensive transfers in football history, for a player who peaked before he even landed in Barcelona. Can you even imagine? But then, the 2018 to 2019 season hit. Valverde tried him as a winger, disaster. In midfield, lost. Even the bench didn't want him. He looked like he was being punished every time he stepped on the pitch. Zero confidence, zero chemistry, zero idea what the hell he was supposed to be doing. Our fans started booing, he then came with a genius reaction. A shushing gesture after scoring against Manchester United. Told you, quite genius. Shush the people paying your salary after you ghosted for 5 months? Smart ass. But thankfully our direction has a brilliant idea. Loan him to Bayern. Yep, Coutinho goes to Bayern. Doesn't start much. But comes on against, Barcelona in that legendary 8-2 annihilation. Scores twice, assists once, essentially contributes more to Bayern in 15 minutes than he did for us in 2 years. Imagine your 160 million euro player ending your Champions League run. But the most fun part is that we even brought him back. Of course we do. Injured, expensive, unwanted. By the time we finally offload him to Aston Villa, the hype is dead. We're left with a hole in the books. Later more on this. Ousmane Dembele. Yeah, that guy who's injured all the time and is meanwhile playing Fortnite or something. No big issue, only that he cost us 145 million euros. When we signed Dembele in 2017, we thought we were getting the next global superstar. This guy had cooked in Germany. He broke ankles for fun at Dortmund. He was two-footed, fast, unpredictable. He dribbled like electricity. Done deal. But then the first training session. He did amazing and outplayed everyone. Nah, just joking. The man tore his hamstring like immediately. That injury set the tone for everything. He became less of a player and more of a breaking news notification. Every 3 weeks, Dembele injury setback. Dembele returns to training. Dembele injured again. But oh, when he was fit, when he actually played, the guy was insane. He would beat 3 defenders, switch feet mid-dribble, and fire a shot with his weaker left foot like it was nothing. Watching him fly down the wing, you'd think, yes, this is why we paid 145 million euros. But then the guy liked Fortnite a lot more than his actual work. Yeah, the man lived like a gamer with a football contract, showed up late to training more times than Vinny is crying nowadays, slept through alarms, ate junk food like it was performance fuel, and once ghosted medical staff like what the fuck. But thank God Xavi knew how to get him outplay everyone. In the season 2021-2022, he looked confident, even put up the most assists in La Liga. But then, boom, contract drama, refused to sign, then decided to leave to PSG. Samuel Umtiti. It's 2016 and suddenly we sign a 22-year-old French centre-back from Lyon. 25 million euros. Bargain of the decade, we thought. Umtiti shows up at Camp Nou and immediately starts cooking. Palm on the ball, reads the game like Piqué with muscle, tackles like Prime Puyol. I can go on. A left-footed beast with that Barca DNA, but built like a bouncer. In his first 2 seasons, he was top 5 in the world. No debate. Umtiti and Piqué, peak modern centre-back duo. He shut down Mbappé before it was cool. But then came 2018, World Cup year. France was calling. But Umtiti had a problem. His knee. He needed surgery. Doctor said, get the operation now. Be fit for years. But he said, nah, I'll play through it. Why? To win the World Cup. And he did. Played every knockout round. Scored the winning header versus Belgium. Won the damn thing. World champion. What a flex. But it came at a price. That knee never recovered. Like ever. He wasn't the same anymore. Slower. More cautious. Always limping. Never 100%. But Barca, bless their hearts and empty pockets, gave him a brand new inflated contract in 2019. Why? No one knows. Maybe we thought he'd recover. Maybe Bartomeu was just playing Monopoly with club funds again. That new deal, 5 years, massive wages. And from that moment on, Umtiti turned into the ghost of transfer past. He played less than 50 games in 4 seasons, earning 12 million euros a year. What the fuck? Don't get it twisted. He wasn't just injured. He was also just there, training, smiling, doing press photos, posting workout selfies and stuff. But now something changed inside the club, ruining everything. Messi leaves the club because of financial ruin while Umtiti's just vibing, stretching on the bench, raking in cash. Of course the boos came. Every time he touched the ball, bow! It wasn't fair, but it was. The guy even got booed during warm-ups, during friendlies. At one point, it felt like we were just mad that he still existed. The club tried to move him every window. He said, no, I'll stay and fight. Noble words, until you realize fight meant refusing all offers and enjoying Catalan weather with direct deposit enabled. Thank God we eventually figured it out. Loan him, anywhere, please. And so, he went to Lecce. Yes, Lecce. He played, he smiled, he cried after matches, gave everything. Umtiti in Serie A was like watching someone rediscover joy. But then in summer 2023, we terminate his contract mutually. He signs with Lille, a new chapter, a slower league, less pressure, and honestly, he deserves it. Because as frustrating as he became, Samuel Umtiti gave us a Champions League level defender when we needed it most. He sacrificed his career for a World Cup. He stayed loyal, even if it hurt us. Thanks for the tackle on Lukaku, thanks for the header versus Belgium, but mostly, thanks for leaving. Griezmann. Him to Barca looked on beforehand like a bargain. Champions League finalist, World Cup winner. But what we got? A lost Frenchman with a fortnight emote addiction, running around the pitch like he had no clue at all. We paid 85 million euros for the guy. Nah, just joking. It was, to be precise, 120 million euros. Yeah, I know, insanely good negotiated. But from day one, it just didn't work. Griezmann was basically a tactical idiot. Messi had the keys to the attack, Suarez was still breathing, Dembele was, well, probably in physio, but still theoretically in the lineup. So where do you put Antoine? As a pure 9? Nah. He had the killer instinct of a golden retriever. Friendly, reliable, but ain't killing nothing. His stats weren't awful. He ran, defended, pressed. But you don't spend 120 million euros for someone to chase fullbacks. Even when he scored a goal, he irritated me. No, seriously, he celebrated a goal with that awkward dance or Fortnite emote. It felt like we were being trolled by our own player. But then by 2021, we loaned him back to Atleti. Eventually, we sold him to them permanently, for less than half of what we paid. Insanely good deal, right? Buy high, sell low. Martin Braithwaite from Leganés. Who? Yeah, I know. In 2020, Barca was so injury-struck and disorganized that they activated a legal loophole in Spanish football, one that allows clubs to sign a player outside the window if there's a medical emergency. Which makes sense, right? You'd think we'd go after a high-upside youth prospect or some journeyman poacher with a hot streak, but no. This guy literally cost us 18 million euros. We even gave him a 300 million euro release clause. Why? Still no clue at all. Braithwaite didn't moan, he put his head down and worked like a player who knew he was in over his head but didn't care. Remember, effort doesn't equal quality. But then there was a moment when Koeman tried to convince us Braithwaite could lead the line. Front three of Messi, Griezmann, Braithwaite. That's not a front three. That's suicide for a team. A tactical plea from a club that spent 400 million euros on attackers and ended up starting a player who was previously relegated with Middlesbrough. But hey, he scored some goals. Scored in the Champions League. Even bagged a brace against Dynamo Kyiv. And for a minute you thought, maybe this guy's not so bad? Then he'd try to dribble and you'd remember, yes, he is. Eventually, the club told him to leave. He refused, said he'd honor his contract. We finally terminated his contract, and he signed with Espanyol, of all clubs I know. Junior Firpo, basically the baldy before bald. The man signed to be Jordi Alba's long-term replacement. On paper, looked like a FIFA region of Marcelo. In practice, more like an AliExpress one. Every time Junior touched the ball, it felt like a game of Russian roulette. He'd either launch a perfect overlap or pass the ball straight to the opposition like he owed them a favor or something. Dude played like he was buffering, confused under pressure, allergic to triangles. Not exactly Barca DNA. Eventually, we sold him to Leeds, where he immediately became a meme in the Premier League too. The guy somehow made us appreciate Lucas Digne. Trincão. We paid 31 million euros for this man, really thinking we had cheated the others because of the low price. Some fans even thought we'd discovered the Portuguese Neymar, but nah. Trincão played like he was trying to win best dribbler, week in, week out. Zero urgency, zero end product. Every final ball was either too late or aimed at ghosts. But then, finally, we did something genius. We loaned him to Wolves, hoping Jorge Mendes would let him disappear. And what did you think? He played like shit also in the Premier League. Told you, quite genius of us. Totabo. This guy had hype levels so high you'd think he was Van Dijk or something. Signed from Toulouse, tall, composed, French. People said he was the next big defensive talent. He played 5 games. 5 total. Every preseason, there was buzz. This is Todibo's year. But then the season started, and the only place you saw him was in loan announcements. Seriously, he went to Schalke, drowned, went to Benfica, didn't play, eventually found peace at Nice, where he finally looked competent, after we gave him away like a promotional sample. But I have to say it, Jeremy Mathieu. This man actually smoked cigarettes during his time at the club. I know Szczesny does the same, but this guy was literally our centre-back. The man once admitted to lighting one up after training sessions. Bro was out here defending against elite attackers like Benzema and Ronaldo, and still treating his lungs like a fireplace. But then something didn't feel right. He was 30 years old. 0 Champions League experience came from Valencia, where he was fine, nothing more. He was known for being tall, fast, for a dude his size, and sometimes capable of a decent pass. So why did we bought him? Still don't know, you have to tell me. His actual position is even unknown till this day. Left back? Centre back? Shadow striker? No one knew. Not even him. One match he'd be in a back 4 with Piqué. The next, jogging helplessly down the wing like an absolute idiot. He had the mobility of a fridge, and yet Enrique kept throwing him into high-stakes matches. But then something insane happened. He even scored, not in his own goal this time, when he scored. It was confusion. Like, wait, did he mean that? That header versus Real Madrid in 2015? Clasico goal? Massive moment. Deep down, everyone knew that man is chaos with legs. Andre Gomes. MSN is still terrorizing Europe. Barca just won the double, and we need midfield reinforcements because Iniesta isn't immortal and Busquets needs less mileage. So what do? We beat Real Madrid to the signing of Andre Gomes, 37 million euros, rising to 55 million euros with add-ons. For what? A guy who played well for Valencia and had 2 decent highlight reels. So we thought, yeah sure, let's get him. On paper, he had everything. Tall, elegant, technically solid, could play as an 8 or a 10, clean passer, calm under pressure. In reality, bro played like his controller disconnected at kickoff. Every match. My eyes still hurt because we were used to Iniesta and Xavi. He would literally receive the ball and pass it backwards like the pitch was lava. Opponents didn't press him because they didn't need to. He self-destructed under zero pressure. Every time he touched the ball in transition, you could hear Camp Nou hold its breath. Not in excitement, in fear. But then came the interview. In 2018, Gomes opened up about his mental health struggles, how he felt isolated, how the fans' frustration made him anxious, how he hated going out in public because he felt like a walking disappointment, and man, that hit hard. Because as much as we clowned his performances, the dude was clearly going through it. And after that confession, fans turned from furious to sympathetic. The memes slowed down, the boos got softer, but the football, still tragic. But then, the inevitable happened. We loaned him to Everton, and shockingly, he started playing like an actual footballer again. Slower league, less spotlight, fewer expectations. Suddenly, his calmness looked like composure. His sideways passes became game management. English pundits started calling him elegant. Bro just needed space, and zero Camp Nou anxiety.